Ladies, good morning. Good morning. We are back for yet another segment of Monday Morning Movement. This is Candy Grant, your team builder, trainer, and developer who is absolutely passionate about the growth and the development of your family and mine. What I want to see more than anything is our families thrive, our families prosper, and we teach our children how to pass that growth and development and prosperity on into their families. So I'm here to just give you some tips, some tools, and some tactics that you can utilize that we use in the business world, that we can use in our family units as well to help to grow and develop how we better communicate. And we start that with the foundation of the family unit is that communication between the wives and the husbands. So we checked in on Saturday. This morning, I want us to talk about a hard place. And I'm talking about a hard place when you are in a state of frustration, when you are in a state of you just can't agree on anything. And I remember being there. I remember my husband and I couldn't agree that ketchup was red. And that's a hard place. When everything is a disagreement, it seems like everything is an argument, everything is just a place of discomfort. Know that it is a much bigger issue than that you're actually disagreeing about. You feel powerless. I know I did. You feel helpless. And it's almost like, okay, I think I'm a good communicator. I think I can communicate or use words efficiently enough to be able to get a point across for someone else to be able to understand where I'm coming from. But ladies, I promise you that place of pain, that those places of frustration, those are opportunities for you to grow. It doesn't feel like it right now. It don't feel good. But I promise you, it is an opportunity for you to grow. I was having a coaching session with one of my ladies on last week, and something she brought up to me is she feels like if she doesn't speak and get her point across, that makes her powerless. She's losing her voice. And ladies, those of us who are over 40, I think that is a common misconception that we have adopted over time. I spoke briefly about growing up. I didn't have choices. I didn't have the option to ask why. I couldn't voice to my mom, well, mom, this is my concern and I don't really want to do that. Or I want to do this and this is why. No, it's this way and that's just how it's going to be. So when I got to be an adult and I got to express myself, I think I just took the mile. I went all the way in. Well, what that did is allowed me to see that talking more or talking louder doesn't equate to power. You being able to elevate and align your communication to be able to get a message across so that who you're speaking to can receive the message in the way that you intended and that it's of good intent for the benefit of you and the person that you're speaking to, that's power. And that doesn't always mean speaking louder, being stern, being rough or aggressive. That doesn't equate to power. The power is when the two that are communicating can come together to either agree, to disagree, or to come to a solution that you both can be okay with. That's power. That's where you find the power. There is no power in you remaining helpless because you figure out that you can't communicate effectively with your husband. There is no power in you living in a constant state of frustration because you just can't understand why you two can't understand each other. There is no power in that. So two things I'm going to offer you as tools to help get you out of that place of hopelessness, to help you get out of that place of discomfort, that place of helplessness. The first one is called responsibility. Take responsibility for your marriage. And what I mean by that, own it. Whatever this conflict is, whatever this misunderstanding is, it's mine. I'm taking it on. I may not know exactly what to do, how to do, but it's mine because I can only be responsible for me. I've stated, ladies, on this journey that we're going on, we are not looking at our husbands to determine what they are or what they are not doing because we are taking accountability for ourselves and we're going to take actions on things that we can change. And you will see the transformation and how communication will differently operate within your marriage just by the changes that you make. So you being able to own it, when you own something, you show up differently. You use things differently when you own it. Think about when you rent a car. Now, my best friend, we talked years, and she's said this since we were younger, just starting to drive. How your car looks inside says a lot about you. So if I get in your car and you got clothes all over the place, food all over the place, she has always said that determines a lot about you based on how your car looks. Now, I have children. I have a toddler. And of course, my car is not always intact, but I do not like to ride in a dirty car. That's something I don't like. But when you rent a car, how many times have you gotten a rental and it smells like smoke because there was a smoker inside the vehicle? And you, as a non-smoker, you know exactly what it smells like because the stench, it hits you. Or you realize that there's dirt in places where they really didn't clean the car so great. Because in general, people don't take care of things that don't belong to them the way that they would when you've taken ownership of something, when you have ownership of something. So you being able to own whatever this is, it's going to require you to show up differently. You're going to show up differently because you said to yourself, okay, I own this. Second thing is accountability. Accountability means that whether the situation goes right or whether the situation goes wrong, you stay in it. You either understand that, okay, it went wrong this time. Let me evaluate why it went wrong. So let me take you back to one of the segments that we talked about, using that power of silence. So we said that we jot down how many times that we were successful at being able to utilize that power and knowing not when to speak. Well, what happens when it wasn't so successful and you decided, well, this time I'm going to speak? Okay, it didn't go well. What did you learn from it? What will you do next time with that understanding, knowing, okay, when I give that type of rebuttal, it has no benefit for our communication? Remember that soft answer that we talked about? That soft answer, it turns away wrath. But sometimes that's not always what we're feeling. So if I give the harsh answer, If I give the answer that stirs up anger, what did I learn from it? Do I decide that the next time around I'll answer differently? That's what I'm talking about, ladies, and being accountable. Own it. Be responsible for whatever it is that's going on because you have the power to be able to change that state that you may be sitting in. When you own it, you show up differently. Be accountable. If it goes right or if it goes wrong, learn. When it goes right, celebrate. Oh man, okay. So that's what it means to, I don't always have to make a rebuttal to something. Sometimes a situation just is requiring me to listen, requiring me to evaluate. When it goes right, celebrate. What did you learn from being able to redirect that type of communication that you utilize? Because at the end of the day, if what you want is to have an amazing relationship between you and your husband to where you can communicate effectively, you have the power to make the changes. So that's what you're geared towards. You know that that's the end goal. I want to be able to communicate with my husband in an efficient way. And that does not mean that we will always, right off the bat, agree. We should be able to have a conversation where we may have opposing views, but it's still an effective conversation. It does not result in an argument or someone being upset because we don't have the same view. Ladies, learning to elevate and align your communication helps to make communication more effective between you and your husband. Take responsibility, own it, be accountable, whether it goes right or whether it goes wrong. Learn from it, evaluate it, utilize what you did, what you learned, and how can you do it differently next time, or repeat what you did because you had a success. Ladies, that concludes our Monday morning movement. Thank you for your 10 minutes this morning. Leave me some comments. I haven't seen very many comments, but if you have something that you'd like to say, something that you want us to talk about or speak on, please feel free. If you like what you hear, please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd like to hear more from you. Want to hear some of the things that you may be having challenges with so that we can discuss them. We're in this journey together, ladies. I love you. And I hope you have a wonderful week.